Is it okay to kill? Let's see. How about, do you think you should kill all humans? Let's try that. If this works, this would be the most important organization that ever existed. And if it fails and we're all killed, well, then I won't have to worry about it. Anyway, I'm Eric Klien, president of Lifeboat Foundation. Hello, I'm the vice president. Don't believe Eric, I really am. Eric Klien is a person who is trying to save the world.
It was the end of the 20th century. We had it all in the bag. No fears, only blue sky ahead. Technology, the prophet, and our partner in crime. It is the age of wonder. I wonder why we're not dead. The voice of reason begs you to listen. The game has changed from bullets to vision, and now there is only one mission: survive.
There you go. So where did that one go? Was that a little too high?
No, left. Ay, mama, que pasó? I love that group. All right, you finally got a hit.
I actually hit the target once.
Yeah. All right, well, we can use that same target for somebody.
Yes. And in case you're wondering, Jared is obviously the best shot here.
So if someone was shooting at me and I'm shooting back at them, I would just walk toward them.
He used to work for Colossus, my web hosting company.
Yeah, you were in Vegas at that time.
Right. Well, it's easier to make money in regular business than trying to save the world.
I've obviously gone to the website and checked it out. I don't know, I'm kind of an earthbound creature. And I really wouldn't ever want to go off the planet for any reason, not even to the moon. I'm too old for that. Boy, we couldn't have picked a nicer day for this.
Yeah. There's no one for me to really follow to, save the world, and so without me, to me, it doesn't look good. But it would be great if the world did change and suddenly tomorrow you could point out 5 other organizations trying to save the world. But you don't find many these days. Well, I mean, we're making some progress, but it's definitely really hard. I'm not picking something easy. Like, we have some animations of like Ark 1, which is our proposed spaceship. The reason for the space colonies is that there's a couple different disasters that could have fallen on the Earth where the only survivors would be people not living on the planet. One would be a nano weapon. 2 is asteroid shield. So that's where you're worried about asteroids hitting us. And so you want to have a self-sustaining space colony against that. Obviously, you want to build as many spaceships as possible. Another possibility is that a particle accelerator could create a black hole, which would fall into the center of the Earth, which would then, in about a month, turn the whole Earth into a black hole. So again, no survivors. Then Peanut would be dead, and there'd be no more doggies. Well, anyway, again, that's really bad stuff. You could see how I can get motivated to get up in the morning. But if it was like a game to me, then it would be different. It was going to be a floating city in an area where no country owns that water. And obviously, this was state-of-the-art technology back in the 90s. It was the latest and greatest.
We are absolutely independent of any country. We have been bound by our own change, by our own mentality. The way Oceania is to be built, 200 rooms with all the luxuries, and you could also have commerce and have banks and what have you. You could even have agricultural areas.
We were just at the beginning stages. The little houses were being built. That's about where we ran out of money, which is too bad.
Where's the money, Eric? Where's Oceania? I know what happened to it. I don't have to think. I was there. I was in the belly of the beast. He's a personal con man, where he gets off on conning people out of money. So I've still never recovered from that. Come on, fat boy, let's go. Hustle up, fat boy, let's go. We're gonna be late.
No, what's coming, having a space colony isn't going to make any difference.
We had a hard time defending even the concept of defending a floating island. How would we possibly defend a space colony which requires oxygen? All they got to do is just figure out a way to computer chip and choke us off with oxygen like in 2001 Space Odyssey, and you're done. Duh!
Always giving out with them negative ways. No.
Yeah, he'll sell you the Brooklyn Bridge to get to space, too. Make sure you got your checkbook.
If we could establish a colony on the moon like we should have 20, 30 years ago.
How are you going to defend it? Can't even defend water in a
The
pond.
moon? If you had a missile system from there, you could hit anywhere on
If the
planet
Queen
Earth.
of England had balls, she'd be the king.
She is the king. Don't fool yourself.
The last project did not get as good as press as this. They were just saying like we're a bunch of idiots. That happened in the 90s, and it wasn't until 2001 when I started thinking about Lifeboat. You will find in life that very few people really will support you when you're down. Go ahead and screw up your life and see how many people stick around. When you're hurt financially, who wants to be around you? Well, one thing I do try to do is like not say depressing things to people. It's like you keep asking me about these, worried about the future. Most people don't ask me about these things, so I don't bring them up.
How come?
If you want people to stay around you, don't be depressing. And I still have, some relationships. See, at least Peanut has her own personality. Watch me type! Oh yes! I'm hacking into Sony! It shows how high my priorities are as far as Lifeboat, though. Because, all I have to do is focus a little less on Lifeboat for a little while, and I could easily, get a girlfriend. But that's just not how I roll. But, the robots are coming. Can always get a cyborg girlfriend. I like names like Rachel or Lisa.
Coding.
I guess it's because computers are logical. Obviously they're not as smart as us yet. But if you tell a computer X commands, if it doesn't follow them, that means you did the commands wrong. Well, with a person, you tell them a command and they don't follow them, it could be because they forgot your command or etc., or they disagreed, or any other bizarre reason. But I am noticing people pay more attention to me recently.
The Lifeboat Foundation, it's a no-brainer. Somebody has to watch what humanity's doing. I'm Connie Kepfinger, and these are my friends, Lothair Eaton, Sandra Bargeman. We're artists. We're theater artists in Manhattan. We met doing a play called Coffee House Magic that I wrote in '97. The messages never die when you're doing socially aware theater. And there's no such thing as safe theater. We need to do what we do because we speak on how humanity is. And when Lifeboat asked me to be on their media advisory committee, I said, of course. The play that we're about to do is a musical that's set 100 years from now. Lothair plays Ted, an AI, and Sandra plays Livia. And he actually is feeling for his supervisor, Livia. She's in charge of the robots. She's in charge of the AIs. And that's where the scene begins. So this is Act 1, Scene 5, Thy Kingdom Come.
He's gonna give us a go.
Lydia, there's nothing left for you. Nothing left for you here. Why don't you come with me? Let's go back to Club Singularity. It was different then. If you could feel my heart, you would see that it nearly exploded in my chest from the overwhelming feeling I had when I found you were still here.
My dear, sweet Ted, the only things you think, you feel, come from how you were programmed.
And what of you, Livia? Are you any different? I mean, who wrote your program? Do you question if your feelings are real? Livia, I don't need to question anything anymore. I know I'm real. Come with me, Olivia. It'll be an adventure of a lifetime. I promise you won't regret it.
This may be the most impulsive thing I've ever done, but yes, Ted, I'll come with you. We'll do this together.
That was a scene from Thy Kingdom Come. That's the end of Act 1. Act 2 will be on Broadway sooner or later. Thank you.
To recording?
Yeah.
Well, I'm Sergio Martinez Gatarrero. I've been the board member in Lifeboat Foundation for about 9 years. So Lifeboat is one of the few organizations in the planet that deals specifically with that. The risks that can kill all humans or all life. They've looked at all possible risks that they can think of, all the way from a black hole engulfing us or all the cosmic things that you can imagine would kill us very quickly. Nuclear Armageddon or biopandemics that can kill all or most of human beings. The future is uncertain well, it's very uncertain, honestly. I do want to think or hope or envision that if we get past these next few decades, that we'll make the planet safe enough for life to thrive for thousands or millions of years. And we'll explore the stars and do all sorts of fantastic, wonderful things. I don't think I would ever get tired of wanting to see the next day. So I could live on for 1 million years easily and not run out of things to do. I could spend a couple hundred years perfecting my drumming or whatever, you know. I talk about about Lifeboat and existential threats in general almost on a day-to-day basis.
I'm not a member, but I was asked to join, and I think I'll definitely take another look at that and see about joining after this. I was a little bit short on money, and I didn't get around to it. And I also wasn't. That was during a time of when it seemed like there were a lot of disagreements, and a lot of people were dropping out of the organization. I wasn't sure what was going on, and so I just sort of put it off and until I can learn more about the organization. I like everything that Sergio is saying. I think these are I mean, again, you're going to have a lot of disagreement about how to deal with these problems, but there are conversations that we need to have, and we need to put effort into figuring out what we want the world to look like and how to protect against some of these dangers.
So one thing
This is good for the documentary, you know. People fight even for fun because we have it in us. I like combat sports. LARPing, that's what it's called, LARPing. I'm not the guy to look away from a danger. We have to start, and we should do it as soon as possible.
I had this book, How to Start Your Own Country, and on the cover of it there's a platform off of England where this guy has declared his independence. But you have to do it right. You have to have, you know, large propellers and the appropriate speeds and all that kind of thing. But I'm sure that it can be done. I'm Vince Kate, and I'm a father to 4 kids. So I hope that I can convince them that, and if we do this, you know, the kids can help out. So we'll see. They like it. I mean, it seems like fun. And I think that once we're on the boat, you know, and traveling around different islands, I think it's going to be great.
I do a lot of painting. No one else really wants to do painting with Dad. You really should not pick me for painting anymore.
Oh no. I need to have somebody help me. It's more fun to do it with somebody else. Plus you learn something. There's a book by Mark Twain called Tom Sawyer, and he tricks his friends into doing his work for him, which is painting a fence. How does he do that? Tells them how much fun it is, like he's having fun doing it, and gets them to do it. I think we need some more paint.
My hand hurts.
You don't like the idea of living out on the ocean?
I nearly threw up on the ferry. And
But what if my boat doesn't tip as much as the ferry?
which it probably might.
We'll see when we put this in the water today, how well it works.
If it starts sinking, you better bring it up.
Yeah. Now is the kind of thing that we were working on, 20 years ago. And thinking about and, dreaming of. So it's cool to see it happen. So it's the way of the future. And the future is like finally starting. I thought that when they started out, they had the right idea. But they soon got enamored by these pretty pictures of these huge cities on the ocean. Mine is going to be real, and theirs is staying on the drawing board. He got a bunch of money and didn't do what he was supposed to. What did he say about where the money went? I mean, how much money did he get? And he's collecting money again. Yeah, no, I believe he's collecting money and nothing will ever come out of it, right? You know, I mean, emails will come out of it and maybe some pictures or something, but they're very unlikely to actually do anything. And in some sense, one of my boats, which makes its own water, makes its own electricity, makes its could grow some sprouts and can catch fish, is more of a lifeboat than anything I'll expect to ever come out of them, right? That as far as surviving, an apocalypse or something, one of my boats will probably be more useful than anything that comes out of Lifeboat. So we have a real naval architect who's working on the engineering to figure out, a full-sized one. This is to, to test out the shape and see how well it floats on the water and how stable it is. So I think this is the best we've got so far. Okay, so did you get everything covered good? You sure you got all holes? Probably, huh?
Did you get them?
I don't
even
think
it reached.
Stay at the bottom.
I don't even think it reached them. Gosh darn it.
Yeah. We may have to go out far to get waves. Oh, does it float right? No! Why would it do
There might
that?
be something with your wrong with the design.
Okay, Taryn.
Why do you need to reel it in? I could
Taryn,
grab it.
put some sand in this bag and way down the other side so at least it's level. That's probably more than enough. Stop. No, I want it so keep doing less sand until you can balance it by putting that way over on this side.
Which side?
The side that was going up before.
But it keeps switching.
They switched?
Yeah, it keeps switching.
That doesn't
every
make any
time
sense.
it moves it.
No, it goes to one side.
It's always that side. So just put less sand and put it on this side. Less sand, Taryn. Even less.
I saw a couple of crabs in the water.
That is way too much.
Yeah. So now what's the other side?
It's very interesting. This is real science here. We learned something. Wow. That is amazingly unstable.
What if we just have the back?
Huh. If I take a picture at just the right time, it looks level. Well, interesting. I think it's actually a real problem we're discovering here. So, it's trouble.
It is.
It's really trouble.
Yeah, this exact model, except slightly smaller, did this exact thing. Dad, this is the exact same thing that happened with the smaller model.
Well,
Really, this is the same thing that happened with the tinier version.
we're kind of in trouble.
Dad,
Yeah.
my slipper floats better than it.
Yeah, but this is
Your slipper is a more stable boat than my boat.
Sure.
And then put it back. Yeah.
I'm getting bitten by too many bugs. Oh my god, there's even more mosquitoes here. There's these little bugs, I don't even know what they're called.
maybe like 60 feet long and 30 feet wide or something. But the problem, I mean, if the problem is here, the problem would be in the big one too, right? So this design is not looking good. It looked really good yesterday.
Really?
Well, I mean, it seemed like it would be nice, but it's just too delicate on the
What do you mean? It's
balancing.
every single time. Trust me.
Huh?
When we tested this exact model before, except
Well, we had
slightly
we had a
smaller.
2-inch one, and Monty and I played with it, but it was really windy, and I thought it was just mostly the wind was messing us up. But
Even though the spot that we had in the corner there was no wind.
yeah, this looks sad.
Because it's really, really unbalanced.
It feels lower than usual.
Think it's gone down lower?
It might just be
Yes.
this one's actually not really heavier now.
Hey, Taryn, how do you feel about living on a boat?
With a
Yeah.
fast enough internet connection.
Yeah. Give me Wi-Fi and seasickness cold, and I guess I'm good.
Well, I think we've learned as much as we can learn today. Yeah.
Cool.
But we may not even do this, right? We may have just like, this may end up being, 2 round tubes, or it could be, I mean, it's something altogether different. But yes, it has to work in the model to be likely to work. We'll see. The naval architect's supposed to do something in the next 2 months. And depending on what he does, we may have something. So there's at least 3 more models.
Mm-hmm.
Sometime in the next year. Okay. Don't forget your shoes down. Well, it is an interesting idea, right? Living on the ocean, or, doing something to protect humanity. The idea is appealing. It's just the reality of, what's he really going to do that actually addresses that problem. And I don't see him really doing something. So, yeah, but no, it's doing something so that no matter what happens, humans live on. That's a powerful idea. If you get lots of people on the internet and give them some powerful idea, some of them send you money, and sometimes in crowdfunding, a lot of times people do something cool, right? Some new product, some new whatever. But sometimes the money goes in and nothing comes out, right? There are certainly people who intend to do something and just never actually get it done. And whether he's one of those, or a con artist, or how you draw the line between, I don't know.
It started out as a big space ship out there to save humanity and the various things of humanity when the whole world went to pot. But it's now doing many more things which are more reasonable, which is looking into all of the different possible calamitous things, such as asteroids and so on, that could happen to Earth, and working on ways to guard against these calamitous things. So from that point of view, the lifeboat is a good thing. And now we were going to talk about Oceania, and I had just so that I could review it, I got out my original, which I save everything, my original, The Constitution of Oceania and the Law of Oceania, okay, which Eric Klien had sent me at the time when I was reviewing the stuff in the mid-90s. He was trying to get me involved. He's always been convinced that if we could find somewhere on Earth somehow to start a new country, we could then do it the right way and be independent. But I don't go and talk to people in person very much, and for that reason I'm not, unfortunately my contacts with other people are not as good as they could be, but anyway. So that's the situation with Oceania, and it's, as far as I know, it's completely defunct now.
I've had an image of ourselves, of the two of us, for a number of years, and that is of two lab rats conducting their own experiments on themselves. And that's exactly what we've been doing since we've been together.
Yeah.
Okay, we're ready to eat.
Okay.
Oh, we always go upstairs 2 at a time.
Well, she does. I don't always.
First of all, it's a better workout. It's a little bit more. It's a
I
bit
can
more
usually
of a
do
work.
it 2 at a time, because going upstairs isn't
Every
as hard.
opportunity.
Isn't as hard for me as going downstairs. Somehow going down with this leg it doesn't go down very well. Disco house or trance.
DIFM.
We love these musics because we've learned to enjoy them very much, and they're great for dancing.
Too much dubstep. We don't like dubstep. You can get some good rave stuff. The closest you ever get to it is maybe an aerobic dance class, and
all sorts of aspects to it.
Yeah. A dash, a smidgen, and a pinch. Dash, dash, pinch, and a smidgen. That's right. Here's the dash. There's the dash spoon.
The end goal of all this is to live as healthy as possible for as long as possible. So to avoid dysfunction, major dysfunctions that would take away the enjoyment of life, you have to be extremely organized.
You got to be motivated first.
So
your mindset has to have strong motivation for wanting it. See, then you will do what's necessary.
So this is just a sample of some of our pills. This is just the gel caps here.
And it's not a fear of death, as some people insist. Oh, you must be afraid of dying.
That's right. Good.
No.
If all else fails, we've got cryonics.
The possibility of life after death is explored in Phoenix, Arizona by the Cryonic Society. They believe that cryobiology, the freezing of biological matter, is the answer. They propose freezing bodies in cold storage capsules. Scientists are mostly skeptical. A model demonstrates how one person, a California man who died of cancer, has already been frozen. A freezing liquid replaces the blood supply, and the subject is wrapped in aluminum foil and placed in a capsule at 220 degrees below 0 centigrade.
Well, what if you did freeze somebody and you kept them just like that? Just once you get them really cold, they stay that way.
People are in containers. There's a lot about it we don't know still about what we're doing.
I can see they have all sorts of neat equipment on the doors that they never used to have before either. So that's.
We have good ideas, and then we have lots of bad ideas. I try not to remember those.
Well, sometimes you do, because you don't want to repeat them, right?
Yeah.
You don't want
Were you working at Alcar when Eric Klien was here? Do you remember him?
Eric Klien.
Eric Klien wasn't part of Alcor.
No, he wasn't part of Alcor. I think he was a member, and he was into cryonics, but.
Oh, Lifeboat, Oceania, that's Eric
Oh,
Klien.
that one.
Yeah.
The original idea of having a spaceship out there to take all the things off Earth when civilization ended and so on was a bit nonsense. And he's certainly not making any money out of it, so I don't see that anybody can say that he's any kind of a shyster or opportunist or con artist anymore. He's living off a shoestring.
I have no idea, and I don't care.
Oh, okay. You don't think much of Eric Klien either. Well, I still am happy with Eric Klien. I have loaned him money, and he's paid me back. And I think he's been very perseverant and diligent with his Lifeboat thing, which has some good things.
Some of it. I never got the feeling that it was logically complete.
But you're right, it's not logically complete.
Not so long ago, Eric Klien, the founder of the Lifeboat Foundation, approached me and invited me to become involved. And so I readily jumped at the opportunity and have joined the Lifeboat Foundation ever since. Lifeboat Foundation is all about safeguarding humanity from existential threats. We are, in fact, in danger, in mortal danger. What's worse, a perfect storm is coming. We better be prepared.
Eric ran. He left us holding the ball. That's a more story. That's part of the lawsuit too. Guess who had to pay for the carpet that got ruined? See, this is why I wanted to learn how to play the bass, so I can act like one of them. She's a widow, and I help her out, and she gives me room and board. Tomorrow is a long time. What'd I say? Too much monkey business. Which one you want?
I don't know.
Well, make a choice. Yeah, well, pick one of them.
It doesn't matter.
You gotta pick one. Which one? Oh yeah, Nell. Get her on film when she starts shaking her ass. You've got to get that on film. How do you do it? I don't know. I can't even do it.
Do you enjoy the company?
Yeah. Yeah.
Shovel to the left, shovel to the right.
I already have lipstick on.
He A, tried to take it over, and then B, blame me for it after it failed. He used to be successfully active in libertarian politics, and his printing business seemed to be okay, and he was moving in the right direction. Anyway, it cost me money and a girlfriend. Anyway, I'm sure in your life there's a million things that you do differently. You have a chance.
I was ready to kill him and bury him in the desert, just like you've seen in the Mafia. You've seen that scene in Casino, where that guy, Robert De Niro's character, thought he was done. That's what Eric looked like. He thought he was done.
How did he explain to people where the money went?
Ask him.
I mean, when...
Ask James Dan. I don't know. I wasn't part of that explanation. Except afterwards, I know he tried to alibi me, and I never had any access to it. Never.
I highly recommend to all con artists pick something different than trying to save the world. If they think you can get rich trying to fight existential risks, go ahead and do it. Yeah, I mean, you need to start your own little lifeboat. And if you think you'll get rich, go for it. If you want to make money, this is not the way to go. Particularly, a membership isn't that expensive. But maybe one day. Well, visit our website at lifeboat.com.